quickly introduce my counselors as they have been seated for this morning's show. For those of you who've seen the flyer on Facebook or on my status or a few other places, well, we have seated here in the studio Apostle Dr. Gordon Egyir-Croffet. You can call him Papa Croffet, Reverend Croffet. He's also a doctor, not a medical doctor, I mean. So Apostle Dr. John Egyir-Croffet is a teacher, a counselor by calling. He is the founder of the Excellent Youth Outreach, that is the EYO. He has been involved in global missions for many years. He is very passionate about raising the youth for Jesus. He is the founder of Antioch World Harvest Outreach Ministries. He is the Director of Counseling and Career Development Consult. Apostle Dr. John Egyir-Croffet works with the University of Ghana as a counselor for many years, and he holds an MED in Guidance and Counseling, an MA in Theological and Missions, and of course, an MTH in African Christianity. He also holds a PhD in Christian Education. He was ordained and consecrated as an apostle in 2021 and was awarded PhD 2022 from the Elohim Theological University, USA. He ministers to young people in the areas of leadership, premarital relationships, and marriage, and teaches on the right protocol of biblical worship. He is married to one wife, that is Mama or Mrs. Georgina Egyir-Croffet, and the Lord has blessed them with many spiritual and sons and daughters. Reverend, you're welcome to the show this morning. Let me just quickly check with you. How has your week been?
Thank you very much. The week has been good by God's grace.
Okay. We were at couples retreat. You give me a few your observation of our retreats. You just a little bit of what you observed over last weekend.
It was quite awesome. I saw so many couples there. Not only young people, there were people who were also elderly there, and they were all very committed to the whole program. Yes, and I was very glad about that. But one thing I thought was that some of those who really needed the retreat were not there.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Probably because they may not have had the money, or one of them may not have been willing to come.
Okay.
But what happened at the retreat is needed by every couple. So I want to suggest or encourage couples to seriously think of going for the next retreat next year.
Okay.
It was a very good thing.
So we will encourage them to start saving and preparing towards it. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. And you were a blessing, Sunday you came in and you spoke your words of wisdom. You helped us to appreciate our spouses. I mean, that the part that I took home was those little notes that you said we should put in places that they should read. And when you shared the story about the man who wanted to divorce his wife and went to God first to talk to God, and God said, okay, do this for 30 days and another 30 days. And before he realized there was a transformation, he didn't need to divorce the wife after all. It was insightful. God bless you for coming through to be a blessing to us.
Yeah, but I think that exercise, if every couple decides to do it, it will help. Okay, so for those of us who are not there, the exercise was this. We asked every couple to write 30 things they like about their spouse. Maybe my spouse is called Georgina, so Gina is beautiful. 1, Gina is kind. 2, Gina is patient. 3, Gina is loving. 4, Gina is a good cook. 5, 30. And after the exercise, some people teared up because some of them, some couple never, some wives especially, didn't know that those good things were what the husbands were thinking about them. And they didn't know because the husbands never told them. But if you tell them, things will happen.
Yeah.
But most of the time we are so concerned rather about speaking the negative things, the bad things. My wife is this, he's lazy. What about the good things that she has done?
Yeah.
But when we speak the good things about them, most likely they'll become so happy, they'll start changing from the negative things that we think they are doing.
Yes.
It works both ways. Men can write the 30 things about their husband, their wives, and the husbands can also write 30 things about their wives.
And it's an exercise you can practice at home. You went there, but you just heard Reverend talk about it, and so it's a nugget you can take home and practice every day. Write something very special about your spouse and put it somewhere he will read. Sometimes you can even put it in his bag as he goes to the office. He gets there, taking out his laptop. You can even stick it on his laptop, and he sees his.
Somebody placed that kind of note on the soap in the soap dish.
Oh.
So when the man opened the soap to go and have his bath, it was there. Maybe Kweku, you are good.
Oh, it would be so sweet, you know. It's something every couple should try. Thank you so much for coming through to bless us. And also here in the studio this morning, I have the First Lady of Family Altar, CEO of Ecolion Travel and Tour, author, relationship and marriage enthusiast. She is Lady Mamle Benison, and she's also multifaceted lady. She's an entrepreneur, an author, and one of her books that really made me want to speak to her today, actually a book between her and her husband, is The Irresistible Woman. They have for the woman and the man, the irresistible, that's the title, right?
Yes.
The Irresistible Man and the Irresistible Woman. And so we will be getting to know more about who that irresistible woman is. She has passion for building strong families. Lady Mamle has become a sought-after voice on relationship and marriage issues. She believes that with God at the center of marriages can only be beautiful and blissful and joyful. So as the CEO of Ecolion Travel and Tour, Lady Mamle has successfully merged her business acumen with her love for travel, creating unique experiences for individuals and groups. Ladies and gentlemen, these are our counselors for this morning's show. Yay. And I'm excited, super excited to dive in already. So Bishop, Reverend Croffet, I want us to start with the audios that I sent to you. So over the week, I think last week, 26th, Baba received a message from a lady. She was very devastated. And let me play her voice note. Actually, Baba summarized their discussion together. They shared it on the chat, and people shared their opinion. Today, I want us to put counselor's perspective to the matter. So let's hear the audio.
So our chat for today, our mommy says, or should I say our big sister says, that she and her husband, they've been married for 10 years now. And she said when they got married, they started a business together, which is doing quite well. Now her issue is that her husband doesn't know how to handle finances, the finances that comes into the company. She says he can impromptu get up and be buying things without consulting her because to her, they started a business together. And there's a concern for our mommy, or should I say our big sister. And she is saying that she had a conversation with her husband that he should let her handle the finances part because she doesn't like the way he's handling it. And she says her husband got angry about it. And he says that she wants to control him. And that if he handles that part to her, it's a sure way of he saying that control me. And our mommy says that that's not the case. She just doesn't like the way he's handling the finances. Now, the issue at hand is that her husband is threatened to divorce because she actually brought up this issue about the finances. She handling that bit. And our dear mommy says that, well, if that's the case, why not? Because she, for a few years to come, she would actually see this business collapse with the way her husband is handling it. And she is asking you, our cherished listeners, if she should go ahead with this divorce, even though she doesn't want to get divorced. But that's the grounds her husband is standing on, saying that if she's going to go about the finances issue, she wanting to handle the finances, then he would want a divorce. And so she's asking, should she go ahead with it? Or if she's not, is there any other way she can let her husband see that what he's doing is wrong? And so she needs him to actually see from her point of view. That is our chat for today. And so you can share your godly counsel with.
So that was the issue that came up. And our listeners share their godly counsel. So many issues, so many messages came through. I think one of them, not this particular one, but this is a wife who's trying to take a step to salvage this husband from messing or running their business down. But the man she's faced with a serious resist from the husband. What should she do? What should this lady do in this scenario, Reverend Croffet? Let me start with you.
Lady Mamle, I think you are the businesswoman, so you can handle this. So let me just say a few things that you can handle it, because it's in your field.
From a business perspective, okay.
There's one thing that we need to know. Actually, many questions don't have straight answers, because we can answer them by looking at multiple keys. So this is the man and his wife who has founded a business
together.
All right, and things are going this way, and the man is threatening divorce. Once you threaten divorce just because your wife doesn't agree with you, I suspect that the relationship was not founded on a good basis, foundation. Okay, and I have said this here before, I'm saying this again, that when couples get intimate before they get married, it's very easy for them to divorce, even over the slightest issue. Okay, so if that has been the case, then they need to go and address that situation. I don't even know whether they are Christians. If you're a Christian, your wife hasn't committed adultery, you have not committed adultery, then you have a disagreement about finances. You don't divorce because of that. Okay, so they have to go and look at the foundation of their relationship, and I think a third party must definitely get involved. They cannot handle this thing by themselves. What the woman is saying is true, and before you start a company or any ministry, the Bible says in Proverbs 24 verse 3 and 4, any enterprise is built by wise planning, becomes strong through common sense, and profits wonderfully by keeping abreast of the facts. That is Proverbs 24 3 and 4 from the Living Bible. Okay. But the traditional Bibles talk about the fact that a house is built by knowledge. Okay, the foundation is laid with understanding, and the rooms are filled with by knowledge. The rooms are filled with all kinds of beautiful things. So wisdom, understanding, and knowledge are needed in any enterprise. And when the Living Bible says any enterprise is built by wise planning, it suggests that any enterprise, anything that you do, it can be marriage, it can be establishing a school, it can be a ministry. It can be anything that you do. So there must be wise planning. And then they say that when you build by wise planning, it becomes strong through common sense. Okay. Common sense suggests that you shouldn't be taking company money and spending. You must reinvest it. Okay. And then the whole thing becomes well established by keeping abreast of the fact that is knowledge. So you must find out financial wisdom concerning how to run a business. Okay. I suggest that, well, I don't know how they did the whole thing, but the blueprint for every enterprise, whether it is a school, it's a business, and some other kind of business, even ministry, must be founded on 5 principles. Number 1, you must have a vision. What's the vision of the ministry or the business I'm setting up? And then 2, a mission. The vision and mission statements are 2 things that's 2 pillars that most companies start with. That's why when you go to almost every corporation, even some FM have it, you find the vision statement there, and under it the mission statement. The vision statement is what you see yourself or your company doing or becoming, and the mission is the steps to get there. And this must be written down clearly. So you should have done that. The third thing is that there must be structure. You must have structure for the ministry or the company you are setting up. And the structure must also have an organogram. You, the man and the woman, where are you on the organogram? Where you are the CEOs of the company, fine. But you must have a board of directors. Yes. Even though it's for the 2 of you only, you must have a board of about 5 people or something who can direct you and guide you, because if you go to the register of companies to go and register your company, you will be asked to have a board of trustees. Yes. In fact, you cannot even register the company without the trustees. True. So how do they register the company? The trustees must be there. They should tell the man that, no, you can't do this. And if you're a board, You are the company, you are the CEO, but you must put yourself under the trustee for guidance and accountability. Okay. So if they haven't done this, they have to be helped to do it. The woman cannot handle this issue alone. The husband must be brought to understand that what he's doing is not prudent. And what the woman is saying about collapsing the company in the next few years is very, very true. So apart from the vision, the mission, and then the structure, the fourth thing is the strategies. The strategies that the couple is adopting to run the business. Okay. So we shall do this, we'll sell this, we open at this time of the day, we close at this time of the day. These are the kind of people who are going to be employed. Monies will be banked intact after sales. We won't take money out of today's sales and use them. So bank the money intact, and then have an accountable interest, which the two of you agree on. Maybe you are going to have 1,000 cedis every month and then spend out of that.
Yeah.
But if we are not able to use that much money at the end of the month, then we retire it and take another accountable interest. Okay. And the bank account must not be only one person being able to sign. They have to go to the bank and say, you can opt for any of us can sign. That's where the problem is.
Yes.
But it must be two of us should sign.
Yes, 2 signatories.
Yes, if there are 2 signatories, how can the man take the money alone? So it's not a matter of the man being controlled by the woman, but he's just not being very prudent. So the board, they must have a board who must come in and help them to guide this. They don't have to have a divorce. I mean, we divorce for the flimsiest of excuses. I think they need counseling.
They do.
They need counseling.
They do.
But there's one thing, even as we go into this whole discussion, 3 things that we must clearly understand is the fact that human beings, as we have them, the whole world, we are divided into 3 groups of human beings.
Okay.
All right. This one, it's not me who is saying it. It's not a new thing. It's in the Bible.
Before you go into the category of human beings, I think you left the 5th one, the 5 points of every business.
Yes, okay. So the first one is the vision. The second one is the mission. The 5th one is the structure. The 4th is the strategies. And the 5th one is core values.
Core values.
Yes. You must have core values. And you should have put the core values down before you started the ministry or the organization. You see. So the core values: honesty, respect for one another, and respect for customers, respect for the team, teamwork. Okay, value, integrity, accountability. You can have 5 core values or 7, any number you want, but not too many. A few core values, at least 5 to 7, which every member of the group can articulate clearly. You see, so when you go to some companies, you enter some banks, the way they will treat you, you won't feel like not going there again. Even if you don't have an account there, the way they treat you alone will make you open an account there. It's part of the core values. They have been taught to live that kind of life, to be courteous to customers, to help customers. When they say the customer is always right, it is not true, but it is a business strategy that makes you pamper the customer and defer to them, so that they think that they are truly right. Then they become happy.
Yes.
So when you have strong core values and the CEOs know about it, the company team also know about it, it will help the company to run well. Because whatever they are doing, if they have workers, the workers are noticing what's happening between the couple. So I think this man must, they must send someone whom the man respects to go and give him counsel. But the business must be restructured to have a board of trustees, and then guidelines that they will submit to, and the right kind of accounting process.
Anyway, thank you so much, Reverend, for this education. These values you just listed, the 5 pointers you listed, I think for me is my take home this morning. It's very valuable. Thank you. And you see, when people sent in their contribution, someone mentioned that probably is the way the woman communicates to him. He feels his ego is bruised. Yes, probably he's doing something wrong, but the communication tone could also make all the difference. Yes. So do you think it had to do with how she spoke about it?
Considerably. The Bible talks about as regardless of the situations, if you are to reproach someone, you're even supposed to do it in love. Yes, so addressing the issue. And I mean, before I speak about the love, we are instructed to respect our husbands. Like, there's no way or an instance or situation where that is supposed to be taken out. So regardless of how terrible a spender your husband is or how uncomfortable you find his situation, you still would have to address it with respect. So it can be, yes, the channel or the manner in which you even approach the situation towards him. There can be two instances where you even study the atmosphere before wanting to have that kind of discussion with him. Maybe he's probably gone out, he's had a stressful day, and he comes home and he say, "Kojo, nya no mempe, nya no mempe." Like, you know, you take it from that experience, that point of view where you are just unhappy and you want to vent. And then there can be an instance where Kojo is probably back from work. I mean, he's your husband anyways. You probably cook for him. He has a good meal. He's more relaxed. And then you have that conversation with him. You can even start from the point where, you know, we both wanted to start this venture or this business because we knew it would be profitable for us and in a way to transfer generational blessings or riches to our children. You know, that's why we started this initiative. But I think that our approach to our finances towards the business, you know, I think we're not doing it the right way. So sometimes it's really about how you're communicating to your spouse. And then I'll just chip in something. So we all know the parable about the talents in the Bible and how God just loved the wise steward who invested whatever was handed over to him. Oftentimes we need to know that we're actually here for a reason. God has placed us here to be responsible. I mean, if we take the story from the Adam from the Bible, God put him in the garden and then he gave him the responsibility. Take care of this. So and he instructed the man to actually do that. You know, so it will really hurt if you find your spouse. I mean, on a normal day, it's the women that want to go all out.
Spending.
You know, to spend. We want to do it any day, anytime, once the opportunity is given. But the men have been put there to actually make sure that these resources are run smoothly for the whole family. So like Daddy said, he needs wise counsel as to how to go about it. And if they want their business to really work, the structures must work.
That is, if they don't even have a structure, they have to go back to the drawing board.
Because you can't just run a business and go for the funds anyhow. No, it's not done. There are businesses that run like that because the owners are, you know, they feel like I own the business. And some people actually, you can employ a professional, but until you give that professional the chance to play their roles, you will never see results in your business. So you can have the professional there, and then you can just throw the advice, whatever they advise you to do towards like the achievement or the growth of the business. You just completely ignore, even though the person is present. Once you are not allowing them to play the role, I can tell you for a fact that the business will just start dwindling and then
you'll collapse eventually. And so, prudent thing to do right now, if they don't have these blueprints that Reverend Croffet listed, they need to go back, get them.
They need to do that.
Board of Trustees. Sometimes it's just not, it might not necessarily be a big business. Maybe they started a supermarket together. I mean, hardly do you see supermarkets have these core values, mission statement, and vision and all. And these things, because money comes in every day, because you see money every day, you think, oh, let me quickly buy this and tomorrow we will save.
And to sustain the business, you need to plow back the profits. You know, there's no way the business can keep moving from one level to the other if you're not plowing back the profit.
True.
And I believe the profit is going somewhere else. So they need to put it in the right place. And it's definitely not a basis, like Daddy said. It's not a basis for divorce at all. They can find a way around it. Yes.
Thank you very much,
and Cika, when Lady Mamle mentioned the parable of the talents, it brought to mind the 4 principles about money that Jesus Christ Okay, that can be that can be deduced from that parable. So from the parable that Mamle talked about in Matthew 25 about the talents,
Yes.
we learn that money. There are 4 laws of money.
Okay.
Number 1, money is not meant to be spent.
Okay.
Number 2, money is meant to be multiplied.
Okay.
Number 3, money is meant to be invested. And number 4, only profits from invested money can be spent.
Please go over them again.
Money, law 1, money is not meant to be spent.
And
If somebody gives you an olonka of grain, of maize, in a time of famine, and they give you a whole bowl of dry maize, will you go and grind it and use it for bankung the next day? The natural thing that comes to your mind is to go and plant.
yes.
That's what money is, a seed.
Yeah.
So you don't just use money. You know, if somebody gives you 4 acres of land and say fill them with, even a handful of maize, the first thing you do is to plant the handful of maize. When you harvest it, you get a few cobs, then you dry them and replant them. And by the time you go through 3 or 4 seasons, you can now fill the whole 4 acres with the maize. That is what money also is. So when we say money is not meant to be spent, it is, we can take it literally. You know, every money that you have, as much of it as you can invest, do that. Okay. And then money is meant to be multiplied. So when you multiply the money, then it can grow. You know, in that parable, Jesus Christ said the owner of the business gave the first man 5 talents. And when the owner came, he brought back 10 talents.
Yeah.
Which means that he doubled what he was giving. The one with 2 talents also brought back 4 talents, 2 talents extra, which means that he also doubled it. So it meant to be multiplied. You know, and then the third thing is money is meant to be invested. The last one did not multiply his money. He did not even invest it. He went and hid it in the ground. And the master rebuked him and said, if you know that I'm a hard man, as you are saying, then you should have gone to invest my money, so that when I came, I'll receive what is mine with a profit. So even Jesus Christ believes in investment. So you must not spend the money, you must multiply, you must invest it. And when you invest money, then you can now be able to spend some.
Yeah.
Because for those of us who are a bit elderly, you know that a lot of people who invested when they were young, and there are various investment schemes and brokerage firms in the country, you start investing young. When you go to any company, and the companies who are going to give lectures or seminars on preparing for retirement, don't do it for people who are 5 years from retirement. It's too late. You know, it must be done for those who have entered the job, the company at age 25. That's when you have to talk about planning for retirement, you know, because you must encourage young people to invest early. When you consistently invest maybe 100 cedis a month, 200 cedis a month, 500 cedis a month, whatever you can afford a month, after 6 years to 6 to 15 years, then the power of compound interest takes over. You know, and the money starts, you know,
growing
multiplying
and bearing seeds
exponentially. And so if you start investing at age 25 or even 30, by the time you retire at 60, definitely you can be living off the monthly interests of your capital until you die. Then when you die, of course, you can will whatever is left to
grandchildren,
your children and grandchildren, whom we are supposing you have trained well.
to also
Because 95% of
emulate.
all inherited wealth gets wasted.
Yeah.
You see. So at this time, we must teach the children to be thrifty, to be frugal, you know, not to be wasteful.
Yeah.
In my house, for example, it's not every food that you can eat. For example, if you come and say, Daddy, I want KFC. I say, we don't eat KFC in this house, at least not often. If somebody buys and brings, you eat. But I'll not take my money and go and queue in KFC every week, for 1 hour to buy KFC. Everybody would take about 60 days of KFC. No. It's not prudent. you know.
Minimum bucket, like
yes,
60
if the
grand.
children are taught the principles of gathering. The Bible talks about the fact that we need to gather small, little by little. You know, and this generation, you have been introduced to gambling by the social media skills we have. It's not good. Children have now started gambling. They're trying to put in this 5 CDs to earn 20 CDs. It is not a good habit. It will ruin them. So we must let the children know that you have to work hard for money. You don't have to gamble, you know. That's why Jewish children, the Jews, are making it, because in the Hebrew language there is no word for gambling. You know, it is earning. Earning is a word that they use. So every young Jewish person knows how to earn money. But over here we know we have the word for gambling, and we also have the word for earning. So you can earn money, you can win money. We don't win money. You must earn money.
True.
That's why they are so successful in business. No? So we need to lay a very strong foundation for our children in terms of giving them respect for money, you know, and making sure that they live simple and they learn how to also bless others, invest in the lives of others by giving, so that when they inherit our wealth, they don't waste it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Reverend Croffet. And so I would want us to wrap up on that one. Lady, it's obvious that you and your husband would need to speak with an external counselor. If you need help, you can give us a call here on Sunny. We would gladly hook you up to any of our counselors. And also, if you don't have the blueprint of your business yet, you need to put that in perspective. The account, as Reverend Croffet said, both of you need to be signatories to the account. However he gets access to the money, there must be checks and balances in place so that profligate spending will be minimized. Thank you so much, Lady Mamle, and thank you, Reverend, for that. So there's a second one who talks about the man who can't just keep his secret. Let's listen to the voice note first.
Well, let me share our chat once again with you, and then I'll open the phone lines for you to share your godly counsel with our sister. Now, our sister says that she and her husband, they've been married for 3 years now, and her issue is that her husband is a good man, but his issue is he can't seem to keep secret. Anytime they have a conversation or argument at home, privately, she finds out that even their neighbors know about it. And she says that recently she found out she was talking to her neighbor, and then her neighbor said that she was going to tell her something, that she shouldn't get angry. Only for her neighbor to tell her that share her secret, which she shared with her husband before they got married. The neighbor told her of the secret that her husband has already shared with her. And so our sister says, well, she confronts the husband about it, and he doesn't seem to see anything wrong with it. And she says that's her problem. Anytime he says something, they have an argument or conversation indoors, and he goes out to say it, and she confronts him, he goes like, no way, then he doesn't see the big deal in it. Even after sharing her secret outside with a neighbor, he just doesn't see anything wrong with it. And our sister says she has had enough of it, her husband's attitude. Even though he's a very good man, she cannot understand why he can't seem to keep secrets to himself. He's always telling people about it. And so she's thinking of ending the marriage, walking away from her marriage. And she has brought her issue to you, our cherished listeners, asking for godly counsel on what to do with regards to her husband's issue. As she puts it, Nanu Nyedru. Well, that's our chat for today, and so you can share your godly counsel with our sister.
Okay, so that is the second story. Nanu Nyedru. And so there was a message that came through in the course of the advice was coming in. So I want to play that message. It relates to what the woman shared. Please listen to this one.
Our sister has learnt a valuable life lesson the hard way. It is not necessary to tell your partner everything. Sister has learnt a valuable life lesson the hard way. It is not necessary to tell your partner everything about your past or your past life, except the part that will impact your marriage. For example, reproductory issues, when you get married, you two are starting a new life together, so let's be guided. My mom advised me not to disclose everything about my life to my partner, but I didn't listen. I also learned the hard way when private things were used against me or said as jokes in the midst of people. Let us love with wisdom. 1, she should pray for the Holy Spirit to teach him certain things and for her to forgive him. 2, she should find Christian messages that addresses such issues for them to listen together. And then lastly, marriage is not a proof of maturity. She should be guided in what she shares. God be with her. Thank you so much for...
So that, the part that really struck me that I need your counsel on is that, is it true that we shouldn't share everything in our past with our spouses? Because I know counselors always tell us, be transparent. Tell them everything they need to know. But with what has happened, now you tell everything and talebearer goes telling everyone else. So is it necessary to tell everything, or should we withhold some information from our spouses about our past? Please throw some light on it for us, Reverend Croffet. And then we'll go to Lady Mamle.
During counseling, we encourage couples to be prudent concerning this. All right? And I want to suggest to the young people out there who are not married, the young men, before you propose to any woman, any girl, go and talk to your mentor first.
Okay.
So young people must have mentors. Talk to your mentor first and tell your mentor, oh, I'm in love with this girl. I want to propose to her. Your mentor will take you through some things. He will ask you how old you are you working, find out how your faith in the Lord is. I am assuming that we are talking to Christians. I know that we are not talking to Christians everywhere. I mean, not all our listeners are Christians,
yes.
But if you don't give your life to Christ and you're not controlled by the Holy Spirit, you're going to struggle with your marriage. That's one I shouldn't be. I won't joke about that, because marriage is supposed to reflect the relationship between Christ and the church. So if you're not born again, you haven't even started. Yeah. So I'm assuming that the couple fear God, they are Christians. All right. So you must talk to your mentor, and your mentor must give you the green light before you say anything to the girl. And then the ladies too, when somebody proposes to you, you must talk to your mentor before you say yes. So if the guy proposes that, don't tell him that very day, oh, I've agreed. Ask the guy to give you time. Go and talk to your mentor first. And then when your mentor also gives you the green light, you can now say yes to the person. And then we advise that when you start the relationship, don't begin by sharing your pasts.
Okay.
It's not helpful.
Okay.
It's not helpful at all. You see. For example, if you come to me and say, oh, I have this past, and the guy to say, sir, this past, I say, wait. You may have to court for about a year.
Okay.
By which time the relationship has become strong before you start sharing about your pasts. And even that, you don't have to say everything.
Wow.
So if you are a girl, you've had 5 boyfriends before you met your husband, the only thing you must tell your husband, which is enough, is that I am not innocent. It's enough.
Okay.
Your husband doesn't have to know whether you had 5, 6, 7 boyfriends. The guy is a human being. He cannot take certain things. Meanwhile, he also has his own past. And if you, the guy, you've spent time praying that God give me a wife, and then you've noticed that lady, and you've prayed for some time, and you are convinced that he is the one that God has for you, what must his past, I mean, what do you need about her, sorry, her past, sorry,
it's okay. What's that? Conference room. Sorry, Reverend Croffet. I'm getting water for you.
All right, thank you very much.
Please, there's water in the conference room. Can you get him a bottle? Okay,
So, if you really are convinced that she's the one for you, her past mustn't be an issue. You must trust that God has healed her, forgiving her, and dealt with that past. Because not everybody has got a pleasant past. Me, myself, I had 4 relationships.
You mentioned it the other time, yes.
You see. And it would have been burdensome to sit down and say, so this happened with this girl, this happened with that girl. It's not necessary. And me, I never asked about what she went through. I knew that she had also had a relationship before she got married to me. But it's like, okay. So we trust the Lord that we are
you can take a break and sip some water.
We are having, God is giving us grace to be in the relationship with one another.
Okay. That's okay. There's also some hot tea.
And therefore, when we share this with our spouses, if your wife says, I'm not innocent, it's enough. It's not, you don't have to delve into things. You know, let me just give you two short examples to demonstrate this, to illustrate this, sorry. There was a couple who were courting, but they came to me when they were getting ready for marriage. And so I told them that, well, if you had come to me earlier, I'd have challenged you to keep your your pasts, you know, without delving into them until this time. And the man said, Daddy, then I've already made a mistake because I shared my past with my girlfriend and she's always using it against me. And I said it was too early. You know. Now the second thing, this gentleman has been dating this woman, and one day the guy came and told me, Daddy, I have never slept with my girlfriend, but someone has seduced me.
Oh no.
She was living in a house where a certain lady always has goes and baths and comes out with a towel
wrapped around her
chest. But the towel is so short that her thighs are
exposed.
And one day she came to the room that, I'm coming to warm my stew or something with a towel. And then before the stew was finished, I don't even know that the stew go
bent or eventually.
You know. So the gentleman told me and says, so should I tell my girlfriend that what has happened? And I said, let's ask for wisdom about this. So don't tell her yet. And it took some time, a couple of months, before eventually she told the girl in my presence. And when she mentioned the fact that she had been unfaithful, the girl immediately teared up and then made the statement, if he had told me earlier, I'd have left you. If you had told me earlier, I'd have left you.
But were they married? Or
they were not married yet.
Okay.
But they were getting ready to the marriage.
Okay.
So I said, you can still leave him now if you want to. Because it's better to leave him now. And I said this in their presence. So the guy was there. The leader was there. I said, you can still leave him. Because if you are not comfortable about this and you marry and you're using it against him all the time, it will not be good. So now that you are not married and he has made this confession, if you say that you would have left him earlier, because earlier means the relationship was not very strong.
Yeah.
You can still do it. So I'm giving you time. Go. Come back after some weeks. If you still want to go ahead with the wedding, let's know. If you want to leave him because of this, we'll pray and you can go your separate ways. So she left. They left. And after some weeks, they came back and the lady said, Daddy, I'll marry him.
Wow.
Which means forgiveness has taken place.
Yes.
So the timing of divulging secrets is important.
Okay.
And it is not every secret that you must divulge. Definitely, if you have had an abortion, that's when you have to let your fiancé, your husband to be know. But not other details. This person is called this. We had sex 5 times. We went to this place. No, it's not necessary. He's not God. You know.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and with this current situation, I think that since the lady's husband is saying, but this there's something wrong with it. She must be prudent from now on and not share delicate things with him.
Okay.
Because as the earlier speaker said, if you are married, it doesn't mean you are mature. And definitely, the lady and the gentleman, even if the man won't do it, the lady has to find someone that they can be accountable to.
Yeah.
Someone the man respects. And somebody must come and sit the man down and talk to him. That you don't divulge secrets. It's not a wise thing. It's not a wise thing. It is not wise for you to have been in the house and your feet are outside.
Yeah.
You know. And I think if they talk to him properly, maybe it's an awareness he doesn't have.
Yeah.
He will, when he gets to know about the consequences, I believe that things can change for the better. But I don't think there's a basis for divorce.
Okay. Okay. It's not a basis for divorce.
No.
One other issue that came up, which I kind of relate with, is that the one confidence you should have in your life, first of all, must be your spouse. I mean, your conconsa partner. Anything happen outside, you want to quickly get home and talk to your husband, because you don't know who else to trust with such delicate issues. Something happened at work, your boss did something, and quickly you want to talk to someone.
Yeah.
And the first person that comes to mind is my conconsa partner, my spouse, you know. And this is the same person where now you cannot tell everything to.
That's it.
So if you have issues going on internally and you really want to talk, how do we deal with this? How do we cross this bridge, Lady Mamle?
Okay, so
You
I'll
are
get
a
to
woman,
it.
so I know you understand where I'm coming from. The conconsa partner being your husband, now you can't even talk to him
Yes.
about delicate
Yes,
issues.
Yes, so I would say that there's a little faulty foundation somewhere, because the Bible talks about the two becoming one. You know, the two becoming one is that they are both open to each other, hiding nothing or withholding nothing from each other, and freely sharing it. Like you're saying, sometimes we just can't wait to have that conversation with our partners. Unfortunately, like the lady mentioned and like Dad said, there are some people who are just not matured. In a few counseling sessions, people equally ask, to what extent can I share my past to my partner? And we are always like hitting on the point where, until you've even, so you know your partner, you know, you're courting for some time, you know the things your partner can take and the things they can't take. So there's just a certain extent to the information you can share with your partner. Once you're familiar, for example, I mean, we have different traits when it comes to individuals. There are people who will just blow up once you tell them something. Like, they just can't hold it. You should study your partner so well to know that they can handle this information I'm about to drop. They can't handle it. It doesn't mean you're hiding or keeping secrets from your partner, but you just should know your partner so well that you don't commit to spilling out everything and at the end of the day getting hit. One of the painful things to find yourself, or places to find yourself, is where you confide in someone so much so that you tell them like everything, and then you hear from somewhere else. Like it's really painful, and it actually happens when the person is closest to you. I mean, who cares when a passerby is talking about you and you definitely know that that is not the truth, but having to share
Your intimate issue.
Oh, it can be painful. So we need to really let the lady know that we understand where she stands, and we want her to know that she will be fine. But it's painful to be in a place where your confidant has another confidant.
Not even one. The whole
You
neighbor,
know?
the whole community.
No. So back to what I was saying, the two shall be one. Now, one thing that breaks most marriages is when third parties come into it. So you see two couples who can amend their issues, who can talk about anything at all, fix their problems, and they are good to go.
Yeah.
But once third parties, especially when it's not their mentor or
A counselor.
you will notice that it sets a tone of confusion. So one person is trying to make you feel like your husband is wrong, and another is trying to make you feel like you are right. You know, once third party comes in, it just brings a whole lot of confusion, and it can even break marriage when the problem itself is not actually breaking the marriage. So in an instance like this, I can tell you that the external person that was invited into their marriage setting is the reason why we're even having this conversation. So we advise couples to be as private as possible with each other. You have your spouse, I mean, you have your partner. Like Daddy said, know to what extent
You can
you can give information to your partner.
Okay. And the big deal is he doesn't even see it as a big deal. And so now you cry and I mean, how can you help someone who doesn't admit that they have a problem? It can be very challenging.
Yeah, so in the beginning, like Dad said, both parties should have mentors.
Okay.
You know, once that tone is set, you know that there is someone my husband respects.
Yes.
That when I have this conversation with, he will listen. The reason why we need to have mentors is there needs to be someone you are accountable for.
Exactly.
You know, there needs to be someone you're accountable for. So both of you should have people someone who can, like, regardless of the situation, talk to you and then you will listen.
Yes. There's always that one person.
Yes, there's always that one person. So if they have someone like that, great. But if no, I don't think, looking at the situation, I don't think there is someone that really holds a place in their life or their marriage like that. So I advise that they seek professional counseling and be intentional about it.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think we will bring to rest. Reverend, you want to touch on that?
Yes, I think that churches must take raising mentors for young couples seriously.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, every church must be transgenerational. That means that you must have people of all age groups in the church. There can be children, teenagers, young adults, middle-aged persons, and then elderly people also in the church. And they all help to make the church grow in a very healthy way. You know, the young people are savvy with, technology and equipment. I mean, media. You know, it can help the church run very well. But when it comes to counsel, the older people can give godly counsel. They can do intercession for the church members. You know, some of them have got the capacity to fund things. You know, so even if you are a young pastor in your 20s and you found a church and the church is full with teenagers, and you the pastor and your wife, if you are married, yes, you are 20 now, 30 years, they start calling you people Papa, you know, and you are there and everybody else is younger. You must still get other people, invite some older people to come into the church, to come and father everybody.
Okay.
You know, because if there's this kind of counsel going on, many marriages will be saved. But, you know, some of the marriages, the pastors are there, but the couple know that their pastors can't handle them.
Yeah.
And it is true.
Yeah.
Because you need older people who are wiser, who have gone through failure, who have gone through pain, who have experienced maturity to handle you at a point. When I was the council of the University of Ghana, all right, I was in my 40s when I came there. Do you know that one day I came out to the house with my wife, and before we went out of the car, he said, "Can I go for counseling?" And I said, "Do you need counseling?" I'm a counselor. I asked her, "Do you need counseling?" She said, "Yes."
Were you married then?
Yes, we were married.
Oh, okay. And she didn't know you were a counselor?
She knows.
Okay, but she doesn't want your counseling.
So
as
she
your
says, "I want to go for
spouse."
counseling."
Yeah.
I said, do you need counseling? He said, "Yes." And I said, "What's the problem?" He said, "You are the problem."
Ah.
So I just kept quiet and I said, "Yes, then you can go for counseling."
Yes.
You know who she went to? She went to an old woman who was a retired professor from a university, who was a friend. So I was in the house when my wife came with a lady. I said, "John, we have to talk." Hey! I felt like a small boy.
I know. That topic really scares me a lot.
"John, we have to talk." And she went pain. Said, "Look, John, your wife says you spend too much time in the office," which was true. And me, I thought I'm a counselor. Many students finish lectures after 5 or around that time. So it is in the evening that they get time to come to
Talk to you.
to talk to me. You see. So instead of me closing at 5 and going home, I can stay to the office till 7 or 8. And it was on a regular basis. And because the center was close to our house, I didn't see the problem. If I was to drive for an hour from campus to Carnation, then I could get out early. But now I can even walk from my house to my office.
Yeah.
You know. So when this woman spoke, then I sat up, and the realization came that what you are doing is not prudent. You know. And then my wife made a statement that really got to me. He said, "I'll become used to my own company."
Oh.
You know.
It's sad.
Yes, that's a very sad thing for a counselor's wife to say this. Even the counselors need counseling.
They do.
You know, so none of us must assume that we've arrived and I don't need anybody's counsel. You know, I'm okay. You're not okay. In fact, as soon as you say I don't need anybody's counsel, you need counseling.
That's
you are proud.
yes.
You are conceited.
Yes.
You see, So I think that we must groom counselors for young people, and definitely if this couple get some counselor, somebody must speak to the man that what they're doing is not right. You must stop it, you know, because these are the consequences. I think that he'll be able to embrace the truth and behave more appropriately.
One other guy also shared his own personal experience. He said he used to be like that. He talks a lot. I mean, he says that people who talk a lot are easy to divulge secrets. And so something came to him. He arrested himself and realized that, okay, I think I'm in a public place and I'm speaking too much. So he started grooming himself to relearn and unlearn the things that he was doing that were not right. So I think until this man comes to the realization of the danger he's posing to his wife and his marriage, it will be difficult for any counselor to come in, because like he's saying, so I mean, do you think that anybody can get through to him until he knows that I am doing something? But like you said, when the counselor came, you quickly sat up and realized, oh, really, I was doing something wrong. Until the man realizes this, do you think that there's hope for this lady?
So something just came to mind when you were talking. I equally want to know, is the man working? Is he doing something?
That she didn't say, but let's presume that he has a job.
Yes, then I think he's rather not having enough time for the wife and rather spending time with the wrong people.
Okay.
Because if you're spending time with the right person at the right time, then you'll be doing the right thing.
Talking too much.
Yes.
But as Daddy said, we need to have mentors, counselors in marriages. That can never be overemphasized. In marriages, young couples, like the first audio we heard, she wants to divorce. The second one, he wants to divorce. Now, young people can take, a little bit of pressure anymore. The slightest thing, the easy way out, divorce. And so, like you rightly said, mentoring is a very important thing they should look at. Thank you so much, Reverend Croffet and Lady Mamle. It's about time for me to open the phone lines. It's amazing we might not be able to talk about the main issue for today, which is the woman after God's heart. But we would do our best to see if we can go into that issue. 0540-130-684 is the number to call if you want to share your thoughts or speak to the counselors about anything that we've discussed this morning. 0540-130-684. 0540-130-684. A message that came through earlier, Nadia Boatema says, "Good morning, sis. Please help me wish my twins a happy birthday. Doreen and Derek Nate. Doreen and Derek Nate, you are celebrating your birthday today. Your mom says she loves you more than words can express." Wow. And so happy birthday to you, Doreen and Nate.
Twins, eh?
Yes, Doreen and Derek. You know them? Oh, okay. And yes, Reverend Moses Benison is also watching, and with Nana Menyin Wilmot, they're both watching. We have a caller on the line. Oh, okay. Hello? And yes, Reverend Moses, reduce your volume. We can hear ourselves in the background. With Nana Menyin Wilmot, they're both watching. We have a caller on the line. Hello, okay. Hello. And yes, Reverend Moses, reduce your volume. We can hear ourselves in the background with Nana Menyin Wilmot. No. So sorry about this one. The line. Let's try again. Oh, this is where it's coming from. I know where it's coming from. Okay. No. please give us a call again, 0540-130-684, 0540-130-684. You can also send your WhatsApp messages. Voice notes are all welcome on Facebook and online. Hello, hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, sister.
KB,
Yeah, sure.
how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, man.
Okay, so let's hear your thoughts on today's discussion.
First, I want to recommend Nana, the Reverend Minister.
Yes, Reverend Croffet.
He has done human. And he speaks in fact and wisdom. Yeah. And I always thank God for him to be part of the. So what I would like to say is that you see that the man that cannot keep secret. One thing I did is that it's something that he learned it from the house. You know, mostly there are some parents that when they are talking or they are having conversation with the elderly people, they cannot send away their what or their children when they are around. So they become part of the conversation, and he has learned something that now it has become his character. You understand? And as you are saying, since himself he doesn't know what is wrong with him, it will be difficult for you to correct him. But we thank God that they said that they should bring in somebody that he respects. Because them all you can say and you the papa. Because there are certain things, yes, we know that it's women or ladies that they become disturbed, but when
it's not true that
it
women
comes to
always do that.
Yes. Like it's normal for Obasa.
So,
Like yes, I know they are normal. But I call you Bema dear. Bema dear, so I know you do. What else? What else? And the other thing is when you are dating someone and the person starts asking you certain questions about your past, to explain that the person go that how is your body count and the rest. You have to also know that that the person that you are dating is not mature. Like yes, and people they will ask you, are you a virgin? They will ask, and now they will continue. How is your body count? You understand? Everybody has his own part. So as you are saying, so there are certain things that the ladies nowadays, but when you talk to them nowadays, they will not listen until they will go and they will hit it, then they will come back. So if someone, if someone listens to me, you are dating a guy or a lady who is asking of your body count, then you should know the type of person that
this
you are dating.
I'm not getting it. What does it mean, body count? Can you explain that body count?
How many men or women have you slept with?
Yeah.
You understand?
That is too much detail, and they will be asking these questions.
Yeah, they ask. If they will call you and confirm, they will ask.
Oh, mercy.
You understand? But you have to know that such a person is not mature.
Okay.
That you should, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we should be taking. Thank you.
Thank you so much, KB. Thank you for bringing that to our knowledge. I never knew men.
Can you know something?
Tell us, Reverend.
Right now, a lot of men are not going out to sleep with women, married men, but there is emotional infidelity.
Yes, it's true. Emotional infidelity.
Yes. So once you start talking to you're a man, talking to ladies, you're enjoying it. Sometimes you can just chat into the night. Even as a counselor, I constantly have to check myself because you get on with some young people for counseling, and then after the counseling itself, you have a relationship.
Yeah.
And somebody can call you in the night. Yeah.
Okay.
We mustn't encourage that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, let the caller come in.
Yes, please. Hello. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. You're welcome to the Sunny Chat Show. Your name, please.
My name is Charles.
Charles, let's hear your thoughts.
God bless the Reverend Minister so much.
Amen.
He has really educated us this morning. And I want to speak on a point that he makes. like when you come together as partners, sharing your past with your partner. In my experience in 10 years of marriage, if you want to have peace, never even share your past with your partner. Why? Because your past will never add up anything.
Exactly.
It will never subtract anything. That is your past. And it must be with you alone. Because sometimes it hurts me when I remember the past that my wife shared with me. Yes. And I did not share my past with her. So she always sees me as an angel. But I'm not. Yes, but because it was sometimes it will never add up anything. So it's not good. It's not good at all to share your past. That is your past. In Akan, there's a proverb called the morning in the moment
Amen. Yamisha, okay, Charles.
That is good.
Yes. Or say the past won't add up or take anything from the marriage. So, Reverend, I'm glad you're here and you're hearing, because counseling, they will tell you, come clean, bear everything and all. But I am glad that you endorse the fact that we don't have to say everything.
The coming clean that
counselors would.
Yes, it must happen when the couple have gotten married.
Okay.
And the man has been unfaithful.
Okay.
That one you have to come clean.
No, but even with your past, there's not necessary.
No. I'm not talking about your past.
Okay.
Let's say you are married, and then your wife discovers that you are doing something with another girl in the marriage. Maybe she chances on some messages on your phone that something is going on and confronts you. You must come clean. That I've become involved with such and such a person.
Okay.
A counselor can come in, you see, and counselors will advise that if you've gotten involved with somebody and you decide to end the relationship, you must not even communicate with the person again.
Yes.
You see,
that's true.
it may look like a very painful thing, but it's the wisest thing to do. You've gone out of your marriage to go and mess up with another woman. So cut that conversation, cut that relationship completely. It's good, Jesus Christ himself said, if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It's something like this. Because as long as you don't cut the person off and you keep on conversing, the old fires will come up.
Okay.
But if you break off and you don't talk to each other again, after some time, you'll be healed.
Yes.
That's true.
So if you think that, once now she's my friend, I can just get in touch, you may go back. In fact, one day I was shocked when one person I had met some a certain air hostess from another country on a plane. We became friends.
Reverend, can I quickly
Yes,
take
please,
this call? Then we'll continue.
continue.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome to the Sunny Chat Show. Your name, please?
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes. Your name, please.
I've been listening to your program, and today is the first time I'm calling.
We're glad to hear your voice.
Yeah. So I have a problem.
Okay.
I can't share everything here, but I just want to give a gist of it.
Okay.
I've been married for 20 years.
Okay.
We've gone through ups and downs, and unfortunately, I had to go through a major surgery.
Go through
a major surgery.
A major surgery.
Okay.
And this surgery has made me a bit limited when it comes to my mobility.
Okay.
My husband was okay. I mean, she was nice to me, taking care of me. But after some time, I realized that his attitude has changed. When you call sometimes the line, In fact, I've been home for almost 2 years. I've been asked to resume, so I am in Accra. And my family is elsewhere. I don't want to mention.
Okay.
Then sometimes I will call, and I will be engaged for a long time. Weekends when I went home, because of the surgery, sitting down for a long time is a problem for me. So I'll be in bed. Then when I'm in the bedroom, he's in the hall. When I come to the hall, he will go to the bedroom.
Wow.
So I was observing for some time, and I realized that his attitude has changed. Things that I say that will not even make him angry, he will flare up. So I was observing. I am not the type. I don't go through his phone. But I was watching and observing when he's on call. When I come out, then he will cut the call and then resort to messaging. So one day I was tempted. I don't do that. Sometimes when the call comes, I'll just give the call to him. So I was tempted to go through his phone, even the password. He always tells me if I want to make a call sometimes, what's your password? And he will tell me. So that day I take the call, and then I went through I was trying to unlock, I tried some things before I had it because I always forget. Then I went straight to that particular call that has been coming very often. And then it was there. He was chatting with this girl. And what pained me most was when he was discussing with the girl. I can't just let it go. I am so hurt. When I see him, my heart to start beating. I was not sleeping.
Would you want us to talk to you after the show? Because this is a detailed issue. Yes. I'll pick your contact. Hold on. Let me quickly take your number before you drop the call. We will talk to you.
All right.
Or would you rather give her your number so that she can send you her number?
I don't want to put it out on the air, so I will write her down.
Can I call this number?
Yes, please. You can call right after the show so that we can speak to the counselor.
The show end what time?
9 a.m. in the next 22 minutes will be done.
Thanks.
God be with you. God bless you. Okay. That's a sad one. But I was going to ask.
You see, so this is a sad one, but this is what's happening in many homes. Yes. So I was just saying that this person that I met on a flight, she's not a Ghanaian, another country. We became friends. And she had told me that she had a child with a married man. And so we discussed everything about ending the relationship. Then 4 years later, she calls me at dawn one day and said, Pastor John, it has happened again. What has happened again? The man has slept with me again.
Which man?
The married man.
She's been sleeping with.
And I was thinking, my mind was going through so many things. In fact, that day I realized that even me, I needed help.
Yeah.
Because I was saying, you have, so after 4 years, how did it happen? Did you go to his house? Did he come to your house? And what happened when you're undressing? Because you are supposed to have ended the thing. That's when I realized that if you don't cut off people that you have related to, which have been a messy thing in the past, you don't cut it off well.
You can linger on
again, and you can restart things. Okay. And with what the lady that we just listened to, we'll talk to her later.
Yes.
But the red signs are on the wall. I mean, the right is on the wall. You see, if your husband can do this, it means that there's something going on. And I think a lot of marriages are going through the same thing.
Yes. It's a phase.
And so, mentors still come in here.
Yeah.
If anything like that, like that is happening, it's good to just talk to someone who can talk to your husband or wife, because if you don't confront the people, if you don't confront him now, and it continues, eventually to ruin the marriage. So it's better to get involved.
Help
get
now.
help now. And the frightening truth is that there are many women out there who don't care that you are married.
Oh yes.
They know you are married.
Oh yes, they know, Pa.
You know, but they want to still have you.
Some say that married men takes better care of
So
them.
married men must be wiser.
So they are more
More responsible
That may
than
be
the
true.
single men.
But the Bible says that you, the married man, you reduce yourself to a piece of bread when you go through these things. And at the end of the day, the pain and the disgrace and the shame and the destruction that you bring to your family is unthinkable. You know. So we shouldn't encourage it. We shouldn't encourage naughty conversations and being silly. It's a very costly thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. There's a message here. It says, Sunny is great too. During our counseling, I shared a past with our counselor, and amazing, my present husband got to know. Honestly, as at now, I still can't believe how to confront the counselor, cause my partner through a conversation randomly used it against me. So me dear, I will always suggest couple live a present life, not a past life. That is from Bibi. This is a counselor who just divulged someone's private issue to the partner.
I'm not.
So, I mean, as a counselor, there's a level of confidentiality.
Yes.
You're a counselor because people come to you with very sensitive issues and they confide in you. So I really don't know where our supposed counselor got it wrong, but he really had to uphold confidentiality. It wasn't in his place to tell or
The
spill
husband.
that.
Information to the
Yes,
husband.
information. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And sometimes, are we sure this person is a counselor?
That's it. Some people are labeled counselors, but they are not professional.
They are not professional counselors. So we advise that you seek professional counselors. This might be but it's a roadside counselor who is just trying to also share the knowledge, but you need confidentiality.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Mamle, you are right too. The thing that we have to understand is this: not many people can get access to professional counselors. Well, of course, in Ghana here, we don't. The professional counselor, we don't even charge.
She just added,
But-
she's a renowned though, very popular though.
Okay, fine. Then she must gather the courage to confront him or her and say, "This is what my husband is saying. Did you tell them?" You know, hey. Because it's something that we, one of our ethical issues concerning counselors is the fact that we must be confidential.
Yeah.
And I have been accused like that before, where one lady shared her problems with me, her past and all that, and there was an issue with her and her roommate. So I was just telling the roommate that, oh, your roommate is having this issue because in the past this sort has happened, so be more gentle with her. And she said she understood. She didn't confront my counselee with the whole thing, but I think by a woman's intuition,
She knew.
the guy came and told me, Mr. Croffet, have you told my roommate this? I said yes. He said, Mr. Croffet, no, you have not tried. This one day I will never forgive you. I felt so embarrassed, but I wasn't divulging the information for a bad reason. I was letting the roommate know that this is where your roommate is coming from. So,
At least some background information so he knows how to handle the person.
But still, it wasn't taken kindly. So something like that may have happened in this case. But as much as possible, we counselors are supposed to maintain confidentiality. Sometimes people tell my wife something, and then they meet me and say the same thing. And I say, I don't know about this. And they say, but I told mommy. And I go to my wife and say, Gina, these people says they told you this and haven't told me.
They're
And then
not
she'll say,
supposed to
they
tell
didn't
you.
tell me to tell you.
Exactly. Even spouses are
So-
not supposed
No. Even if you are a spouse,
Don't know.
you don't have to
your
tell people's
spouse.
cases to your wife or husband, unless that person gives you a permission.
Yes.
So I think confidentiality is one thing we must seriously adhere to all the time, because it will destroy your integrity as a counselor if you keep on divulging information.
Speak about confidentiality, Reverend. With the example you shared, I want to bring in this scenario. So a lady comes to you, she's suffered a mental health issue before. And I'm saying this from a place of knowing. So she's suffered a mental health issue before. And so from time to time, she gets relapses. But she knows herself, and so she's able to put it under control. Her husband doesn't know this in her past. And so her husband does not know how to relate when she's getting a relapse. She locks herself up. She doesn't want to be with anybody, doesn't want to talk to the family, the children, or anything. So the husband gets devastated on, why would you just lock us out like that from time to time? But she knows that's the only way to deal with it, because if she doesn't, she would vent and she would explode in the face of the children and everybody. Her counselor knows. So the husband goes to the counselor and tells him that this is what my wife has been doing from time to time. And I don't understand. Why would she just lock us out sometimes for days and she won't talk to anyone? And then from the place of helping this husband, he tells him that, okay, she's had these issues in the past, and so she's getting a relapse. When these things happen, she just doesn't want to hurt the people around her, so she stays back just so she protects you. So it's not in a bad taste. She's trying to protect the family. And that was not, it wasn't well taken. So the husband goes home straight to confront the wife. Why haven't you told me what you've been going through? I could have helped. I could have done this. But the wife didn't think it was time for her to tell her husband. I mean, they've been married for years, 4 or 5 years. They have children, and so the husband was really offended. Did the counselor do wrong by trying to help the situation? Because this is a sensitive issue, but it's affecting the family.
Yeah, I don't think the counselor did wrong, because there are some very, very difficult situations counselor found themselves in. One thing you must understand is that when you are doing counseling, you must make sure that you, the counselor, whatever you are doing is the things that you must avoid is unethical things, immoral things, or unlawful things. So is it unlawful for you to have told your the man this? It's not unlawful. Is it illegal? It is not. Is it unethical? Maybe. There's a gray area here. But you did that in order to help the lady and to help the man understand the wife. So at this point, if the man confronts the woman, the counselor must now come in and explain to the woman why he or she did that to the man, and then also the man that this is a woman God has given you or you've chosen. You know, you promise to be with each other for better or for worse. So in this situation, just support her. You know, but we must also understand that even though mental health issues can have medication, many of them are also spiritual.
Yeah.
And so there is a need to have competent, mature, godly deliverance ministers to pray for people like that. Not every deliverance minister is correct. You know, some of them will pour water on you, pour things on you, you know. But we are taking authority over powers of darkness who are dealing with people, you know, their emotions, their mind, their spirits. And therefore, when the demons are cast out, that mental health issue can cease. So you mustn't only treat mental health issues by just psychiatry, medication and medical attention. No, some of it must also be handled spiritually. So you seek the medication first, but go and be prayed with. If you are prayed with and the thing is spiritual, you can be set free. But if you don't believe in spiritual things, that's too bad. Otherwise, you can become ruined. But let me also say this. You know, some time ago, I think 2005, then Dr. Asari of the Accra Psychiatric Hospital published an article in the papers. I think it may be in Mirror or Graphic, one of them, but it was in 2005, I don't know, at the end of October or so. And he made it clear that about 70 to 80% of mental health cases in the mental hospitals the women who are there in the mental hospitals, about 70% of them are there because of love relationships that tense. You see, I'm not saying this is what happened in this case, but the truth is that if you go into relationships without serious counseling, and especially when the relationship becomes sexual before you get married, it can create so much trouble and conflict and tensions that it can end up, or it can end in the woman becoming mental patients.
Okay.
And that's why the Bible says that when you commit sexual sin, you sin against yourself.
Body, yeah.
It can come to a point where mentally you can become affected.
You.
So the youth out there, don't have sex. Somebody was saying, well, after the youth, they will do it anyway. So you have to guide them. They'll do it anyway, then they will die. No, I mean, you can't say you do it anyway.
The soul that's inside die. That's what the
So
Bible
the
says.
youth out there, young people who are not married, don't have sex as you are relating. Don't have sugar daddies and sugar whatever you call them. They won't help
Side
you.
chicks and
No.
side
They don't help. You know, they've been foolishly saying, young girls have been saying, you must give what you have
to get what you want.
But at the end of the day, you can give what you have, but what you want, you may get it. But you may also get what you don't want. You see?
Additional package.
Yes, in terms of STDs, which are now rampant, syphilis, gonorrhea, you
Apart
will
from
get
that, even
it
the spiritual demons that will follow you.
You open yourself to the baptism of demons. So you will always get what you want, which is little. But what you don't want can permanently destroy you.
You'll not even enjoy what you got that you wanted.
So keep yourself.
God help us.
You know, a lady had sex for the first time on the day before her wedding. And that's when she broke her virginity.
The day before the wedding, was it with the
Yes.
same man she was getting
Yes.
married to?
That's too bad. You know, so the young men, please don't force the women, don't force the girls to sleep with them. If you really want to marry a woman, wait until you've exchanged the vows. Then the honeymoon, you can do it. If you're not going to marry her, leave her alone.
Let her go her
for
way.
a husband.
Thank you very much, Reverend Croffet, on that one. Lady Mamle, so there's a message here. It says, but before I read the message, the line is still open, 0540130684. 0540130684. There's a message here for you. It says, good morning, Sunny family. Please, can I get the lady counselor's contact for a program? Okay, sure. I will. Yes. So she needs your contact. I'll let her have that. There's a message here on Facebook. It says, I totally understand the lady who wants to divorce because the husband can't keep secrets. The underlying program for her is that her husband doesn't see how much he is hurting her, and it gets you up to a point you will get a hardened heart. So Reverend Croffet, please, how do you get out of anything wrong with what they are doing, let alone willing to change? I didn't get the last part well. Let me read that back. So Reverend Croffet, please, how do you get out of a hardened heart when the person doesn't see anything wrong with what they are doing, let alone willing to change? There was a call I really wanted to pick and then it dropped. Okay, please call us back again, 0540130684. Reverend, please address this briefly for us as we pick this call.
Okay. You know, in Luke chapter 15, verse 7.
Okay, sorry. Just before you go on, I beg you, let me pick this one before it goes off again. Hello?
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Your name, please.
My name is Jonathan.
Jonathan.
From Bolaga, and I'm in Sawam now.
Okay, you're listening from Sawam. Good.
Yeah. So I was having a question based on the marriage side.
Okay.
Like, if you are someone who married your wife, and then, like, when you see the person, you know that, oh, this lady is this kind of human being. And then, let me say, like, you see the person, like, the person is a prayerful man, someone can help you in the Christianity. And then you have friends marry the person, you are not seeing the person like that. I don't know, how will you do?
Reverend, did you get the message?
Yes.
Reverend,
so you have seen the person which can support you in the spiritually and then the physical. But at the end of it all, the person cannot support you about that. And then you are trying the person, yet still, how will you take this issue?
Okay. So, well noted. Reverend Croffet or Lady Mamle will address it. Any of them would address it for you. Thank you.
All right, so I was talking about Luke 15:17.
Yes, please.
About the prodigal son when he went out to the foreign country and wasted everything. The Bible says that when he came to his senses, when he came to himself, he said, "What am I doing here? My father's servants even have too much to eat and to spare, and I'm here suffering. I will rise up and go to my father." And he rose up and went. So a point of realization will come. With what the lady must do is to pray for the husband, and then try to get a counselor to get engaged with him. If he's a Christian, he must expect something, and it is this: that when we are not living right, we must expect that because God loves us, a time will come when he can bring a crisis into your life, and that crisis will force you to come to the point of self-realization. So God will bring discipline to bring you back on track, but it can be costly.
Yeah.
Right. So the best thing to do is to learn now. When your wife confronts you with a counselor, and the counselor says, "Say, it's not prudent to be sharing your lives with other people," then he must come to terms with it. But the root may be the fact that probably he's having an emotional affair with the lady, because most likely, I'm sure it's the lady who told the secret.
And it's not just one person, no, the whole community.
Okay, then it's a problem.
Yes, it's a problem, not just one person. That can
even be a spiritual problem as well. You see.
So it's not even bigger than we thought.
But
anyway.
You know what? I was mentioning that in this world there were three types of people.
Yes.
We didn't finish it.
Yes, please. Just that we have 2 minutes to wrap up.
Those three types of people, that's the cause of most of the challenge that we are having on this earth. The first one is the person the Bible calls the natural man. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. Okay. The natural man is someone who does not understand spiritual things. So they are those who are not born again at all. The majority of human beings on this earth are natural men or women. Then we also have the carnal man or the carnal person. In 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verses 1 to 3, they are described as people who are not mature. They cannot eat solid food. They are always quarreling, disagreeing, pitching one person against the other. Even in Ghana here, we have it. The fact that people are committed, Christians are committed to one party against the other, the degree to which you do it can show whether you're a carnal man or not.
Okay. Reverend, I want you to quickly wrap up. Okay, so Lady Mamle, let me give you the opportunity to quickly wrap up on this gentleman who called his issue. Yes. He says there's this lady he married because he thought the lady would help him in his Christian walk. Okay. But after the marriage, it's been otherwise. He's disappointed. What should he do? He's now married to the lady.
So I think when it comes to building a relationship with God, it's personal.
One-on-one, yeah.
It's personal. So he should rather focus on having a one-on-one relationship with him. It's quite unfortunate that the basis for their marriage was that she will lead him, to Christ. He should avail himself. Christ is for all. He's everywhere. He's in us. So he should just find him for himself, and things will add up.
Okay. Yes. A quick one. Let me drop this voice note. I'm praying that Nana Kojo will spare me 2 more minutes from his time.
Hello, good morning. I'm Kwame, and I want to ask Councillor a question based upon an earlier submission that he made. What I would want to find out is that he said, as a professional counsellor, you need to be confidential to the extent that probably sometimes you have to keep some things from your spouse. I would want to ask that, so if you have friends as a married man or married woman who shares their issues with you, ask you for your opinion and those things, is it allowed, is it also good that you make your other partner to get to know about those things? For instance, if my friend shares something to me on WhatsApp and I'm to share my phone password with my partner, who then gets to see that. Is that godly? Is that right? Or how do we go about it?
Reverend, so we don't really have enough time. Can we go into this issue again? This is more about confidentiality. Can we delve deeper into this next week? Because I have a message here that says, "Good morning, Sunny. This is the second time I'm listening to Reverend, and I really enjoy listening to the chat show. Please ask the lady if she will be my relationship coach and role model, because I really need one." Okay, so there you go. Or perhaps you can give me her number. We'll do all that after the show, Reverend. So Nana Kojo is telling me I don't have any more time. Unfortunately, my boss, we played your voice notes, but we can't address it. And I'm promising that we would have to go into this next week.
Yeah, but I can also take his number.
Yes, his number, so you can talk to him. We'll talk about confidentiality, because it looks as if a lot of people have issues in that area. Yes. Today's topic was not even touched at all. But it was a good one. I enjoyed every bit of it, and I hope you at home also learn a thing or two on how to make this relationship work. Let's do this again, God willing, next week. Reverend Croffet, thank you so much. We can never thank you enough. And also to you, Lady Mamle, I appreciate it. My heart is just like this for you. God bless you so much. So please stay with me. Let's do this again next week. Save all your messages and your voice notes and your calls. We will talk about this issue of confidentiality next week in our marriages. It's kind of a big one right now. So we'll do that next week. God bless you. This has been the Sunny Chat Show. My name has been Cika and always will be. And I have been with Reverend Dr. Gordon Egyir-Croffet and Lady Mamle Benison. God willing, next week we'll be back. Stay tuned in to Sunny 88.7. Bye-bye for now.
You
That's all time will allow us today on the Sunny Chat.